Hey, everybody. It is Dropper Extra Sassy Teatalk in the house tonight. How y'all doing?
Doing
Hello,
good. Good to see
hello.
you, ladies.
Doing
Good
good.
to see you guys. Good to see you
Yes.
guys.
Good to see you as
Yes, it is good to see you guys. Now, is we doing a hot topic tonight or is we doing a hot topic tonight?
Man, the whole YouTube is a hot topic
I'm
right
about
now.
to say,
Yes, it
because if
is.
we
right.
doing a hot topic tonight, baby, it's so much stuff. I wouldn't even know where to start, but I guess if I was going to start or if I was going to do a hot topic, I don't know, y'all. I guess it would be the lawsuit, I guess, that Mel just dropped on the table or something else. What
Yeah,
y'all think?
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Y'all know
Apparently, we in it.
Yeah, that's what they say.
I guess because we support male. I guess it's us against them. Me against the world, baby.
I mean, and I do understand that no content creators have been named in a suit at all.
No, no, no,
They
no.
haven't been. But he did mention all of our names. So, I mean, some of our names. So, yeah.
Yeah. All I can say about that, like I told you guys and my subby, people gonna make up lies. People gonna
Hmm.
make your channel when they see it growing. People are gonna make up lies on you, and when you help people, they want to turn around and they don't defend you. And my number one thing is don't defend people that's not defending you. And I ain't
Hmm.
defending nobody else. I'm not gonna help nobody. This is it right here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
This is it because I won't help nobody else other than one other person. That's it. It is crazy in these streets. I don't bother nobody on my channel. And then I talk
Hmm.
about what I want to, when I want to, how I want to. It's my channel.
Yeah, I
It's
think you
okay
don't.
for everybody else to do it. It's
I think
crazy.
you don't gotta talk about nobody on your channel. It's just
No,
like
I don't talk about nobody on my channel. People, they're not superstars. They live in an everyday life.
yeah.
I talk about everyday things. There's so much going on in this world. People leaving
Hmm.
this planet and dying every day, every minute, and they up
Okay,
here worried about this.
Stacy,
This is
that's where I
crazy,
just
y'all.
came from. I meant to take a video. I meant to
Ugh.
take some pictures or
What you
video.
think? Drop the T.
I
What
just
you
think,
think?
we all grown, so we should be able to talk about what we want to talk about without it getting all out of hand and out of whack like it is right now.
Yeah.
You know, even if people don't get along, we should be able to be cordial because we all grown women.
Hmm.
We're supposed to be as one and stand together. I don't like the riff raff and the rah rah and all that. Everybody's making content. I don't care if nobody talk about me or say something about me. I don't care. This is YouTube, so you got to have tough skin and thick
Yeah.
skin and be able to, still come on, talk about what you're gonna talk about and keep it pushing. Because we don't know
Yeah.
none of these people except y'all, and
Yeah.
and more people, and that's
Yeah.
it. You not probably never see none of these people ever. So,
Hmm.
A
we just
day
gotta
in
keep
our life.
right,
Hmm.
just gotta keep pushing.
I
Let
like
her
how
be.
Melody gave everybody a heads up whether they see it for her or not. I think that's a good example.
Yeah.
I'll just pull
Yeah.
a good example out of it. And I
But you
love
know,
you,
Yeah.
people.
ladies, and I don't see anything but responses from the two of you that do get called out a lot and just respond. So I
Yeah.
Oh
appreciate
yeah, I'm a
all of
respond, but the thing
yeah.
about me is like I'm not going back and forth though.
Yeah,
I
I'm
ain't
not.
gonna go
that's
back and
important.
forth.
Yeah, don't give
I ain't
that
I'm gonna
energy
going.
say what
because
I'm gonna
you
say.
defend yourself.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get what I'm gonna get,
Super
and
toot
then
in
I'm
the
one and
house.
done.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, you
that's
get to
it. I
defend
say what
yourself.
I gotta say, and I gotta move on because I can't
That's
waste
smart.
time and energy on that kind of stuff.
Uh-uh.
It's toxic.
Right.
It'll weigh you down. And I don't know about y'all, but I do know about y'all. So I know y'all got shit going on in real life just like I
Yeah.
do. So
Yeah, I
what's
got
your
a lot
time
Every
going
for
on.
day.
all that? I want to get on here, do my content, get off, and go be a
Right.
mom, go be a nana.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. I don't
Enjoy
want to.
life,
Yeah,
travel, meet
Yeah,
up with
same.
you guys, have a good time.
yeah. Yeah,
This
I
is
would.
what we do.
As far as the lawsuit goes, this is what baffles me. It baffles me that somebody could actually go to a courthouse and
Ooh.
say that somebody is defaming their character when they have set on their platform day after day, night after night, calling this woman. Where we at? Oh, we not at the 10-minute mark yet. See, that's how bad it is. I don't even want to say the things that he called her and the things that he said about her. Like,
and her kids and her mama and her family. That's
and then
ridiculous.
when she finally shoot back, and then this is the thing, and I'm just asking because I'm being very real right now. If me and Sassy, and I used you earlier today this morning, so I'm gonna do it again. If I send people over there to your channel, I'm saying going over there, y'all. These my folks, they never heard of you. Go over there to Sassy T channel. Then me and you fall out. And I say, if y'all want to sit over there and listen to somebody talk about me like that, then y'all fucking sit over there then, right?
Yeah.
And my people leave your channel. That's right to me. I brought them over there in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if they leave,
she gave you traction. She gave traction to you. She gave you content. She gave you money. So why wouldn't she say, y'all can sit over there and listen to him? And I was the one that sent most of your people to you. And now that they left, they're not making no money.
Yeah.
Because they gone. They tired of hearing you talk about this woman and her children.
Exactly.
You know, and belittling her and talking about everything, her divorce and pregnancies and dating and all this lying, just flat out lying. I wish Mel had handled this the first time.
Yeah, all the slandering that he was doing, slandering her name. All
she could have really put him down.
Yeah. I understand ignoring people and then thinking that they'll stop, but then some demons you have to put them down, like you said, Sassy.
Yeah, you got to put them down.
Yeah, you
really do have to put them down.
That was in touch recently, offering to give her information, and if he had been allowed in that inner circle, I don't think any of this would have happened.
No.
I don't think so either.
No, I think if she would have met him for a steak and he could have got photos and said, I met up with Mel, he would have been just as happy.
But if you go to Mimosas with Melody, you can meet her there. Go to Mimosas, you can meet her there.
Well, yeah.
And y'all know he won last year in December. Maybe that's what he was trying to come to. Y'all know that Carson said he called her up last year in December. Maybe he was trying to come to Winter Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. The problem with me is
his numbers rose during his terrorizing Mel reign. Terrorized Kiki, terrorized Miss Connie, terrorized Queen Sheba. All in my opinion, his numbers grew when he was terrorizing women. That's what she was saying. I know when he used to terrorize me, the numbers, the people would be over there in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're women. That's crazy to me.
Baby, listen. I tell you, I listened to a panel yesterday of women, and I never heard so much sick shit in my life. The lies that they were telling. She came on there and she tried to pretend that she didn't know her husband was cheating. How did she do that?
She knew. She had left him. She never pretended.
They were separated before they came on the show and then got
on
back
the
together.
show.
And we knew all of that.
And she told it.
How did she do that? When we knew
I thought they said we convinced her to come. I thought they said convinced her to take care of her.
Told her he was going to take care of her on the show.
That's
and you know,
exactly.
So how did nobody didn't know that?
Because it's been explained. It's been told. So why would you sit there and lie?
It was a pact they had first made that they were not going to discuss their infidelity at first. But then Melody, came out with her. And I guess the rest
she got tired.
Allegedly, I guess the rest did not want to come out with it. Allegedly.
But they made a pact that they wouldn't do it. So all 5 of them kept the pact, but Melody never agreed to the pact. And Kimberly will vouch for that. That Melody never agreed.
Yeah.
She said she
never agreed to the pact. Yeah.
She said she was never gonna come on here and pretend for
and be fake. Yeah.
So she never agreed to it.
Yeah, so I don't know.
They agreed. So I don't know where they getting this mess from.
Did you remember that scene where they were at the dinner table, all of them, and then Melody was talking about cheating, respectful cheating, and things like that. So she was never trying to hide anything. To me, she was not trying to hide.
I ain't never seen her to try to hide anything.
Right.
But in regards to what is going on, this is about channel growth, and I'm gonna tell you, I've seen it, and I've been watching it for months and months. And I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. If it wasn't with him, it was going to be with another. And I knew it was going to happen. And I knew that when your channel grows expeditiously, or whether it's steadily growing, they're going to try to defame you, me, everybody. So this is just the way the devil is trying to move and use his imps. That's the way I look at it. Trying to use his imps to try to defame people. Mel has never denied, not one time, that she was not with, that she did not know about Martell. She had already moved out, ready to divorce Martell. It was Carlos who convinced Mel to get back with Martell and come on the show, and he would protect her, and he did not. He did not. In fact, he took it and he saw mess and he flipped it and he turned on her. Especially when her fan base started growing. When he saw her fan base was growing and she was becoming so popular so quickly, he got jealous. Because in my opinion, I always felt like he was looking at Martell and not Mel. Allegedly, in my opinion, that's what I was thinking.
Maybe the way he said that thing with Martell, I still got that thing on thing. I go pull it up now. It's on my Instagram too, matter of fact. The way he said he would do Martell.
He said if he paid Martell, he said something. If he paid Martell.
Baby, I got it over there on my Instagram. He said he was slapping up, flipping and rubbing it down. Oh no. That's what he said.
Oh, he's the most good-looking man.
And Martell was gonna have to come in that room and do tricks on the wall and all types of shit. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Hey, sweet asses. Hey, everybody.
Yes. Hey, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and respect everybody's time, because I know Sandra P, you work tonight.
No, I'm actually off.
Oh,
yeah, my weekend's in the middle of the week. So yeah. Yeah, I've been up today.
Hey, look who yawning already.
Yeah, look who yawning.
Look who yawning. That's your nickname. That is your nickname, the yawner.
But the garden was calling me. That garden was like, come out here and look and see what's going on. And then I ended up getting up from my nap and going to the garden, and I probably did too much out there today. I covered up my stuff though. That's good.
Yeah, that's your nickname, Yana.
Yeah.
I say, honey, that's
when I get on vacation, I'll be a little more up. When I don't know what it is.
About an hour later.
I think we keep you out because we be doing so much stuff.
That might be what it is. I'll be up on vacation. I'll be up and ready to go, child.
Yeah.
On vacation, I just get more rest on vacation.
Not me though. I still
that one right there, love that she gets up early in the morning and be gone out. And this one up here, like to sleep. She get it. We gonna call you sleepy.
Yeah.
Sleepy. Yana.
Where Regina at? Cause Regina, that's my goddamn girl. That's my hype.
Oh, we're gonna call Regina early riser, baby.
Yeah,
Go to bed and get up with the chickens.
And what we got to give a name for Sheila. What we gonna call Sheila Joe? We got to call Sheila Joe. What we calling Sheila Joe?
I know she be
twerking.
That she do more
than
that.
Go girl.
Go. Okay, go.
Go.
Y'all, they said no sound. What you mean no sound? Mama 59 said ain't no sound.
Let me see. She might be on. I have it in my ear too. Let me make sure.
Mama 59 said it ain't no sound.
Y'all can't hear?
I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a sound.
My microphone.
Okay, because I don't know what she said.
Okay.
I thought we had a name for her. I done forgot.
I don't know. But Sheila Joe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We already gave you your name. You try to give her another name. That's Firecracker.
Oh, yeah.
That's a firecracker. The way she popped off down there, that
no, that's little pop, honey.
I don't know what I said. I made her. She popped off. I said,
God,
drop two right there. She said, hey, motherfucker. I said, oh no, next time all adults. Yes. That's it.
All adults, honey. No kids, no nothing.
No kids.
No.
No kids, nowhere. Okay.
I told you I had a conversation over there on my channel last night. We was talking about Cassie and Diddy. And I said, baby. Y'all know if somebody touch me. Y'all know I live in Wisconsin. We're looking at the news stations because I'm gonna be on every news station. Shit, you won't be able to get no rest in here. Time I go to sleep with one eye open.
Somebody would pull that thing out and piss on me.
Yes, what I'm saying. In your mouth? Who says something like that?
Ain't no telling what's in that piss. Could be all kind of bacteria and I don't know.
Choking on it. She was choking. Choking on it. But see me, y'all know about the Visine. Y'all know about that. See,
yeah.
You wouldn't be able to be around me. Look,
if you see a man with Visine in his pocket, run in the club.
Just like I said, grits. They got, people still cook grits.
Yep.
Hot water.
Yeah, that's that right there. I'll be like, okay, I'll be back, Diddy.
Right.
Well.
And he had to go to sleep. He had to go to sleep at some point.
But see, he got them young, so he can program them. Okay.
Well, yeah.
So. She was desperate, so. But anyway, y'all, what y'all think about this episode of Roja?
All right, I think I'm starting off. I'm gonna start it off. So it starts off with Kelly. She's in the kitchen. She's cooking for her and her 4 daughters. And then her oldest daughter, which is not by her husband, she's talking about her grades and things like that. And then Kelly goes on to talk about the house, about how she had to sell her home. And they are now in a townhouse, and she said they're outgrowing it. So she wants to look for a bigger house. So she was talking to her girls and things about that. And I thought it was just the 2 twins, and then her oldest daughter. I did not know it was another daughter as well. So the 4 daughters. So I don't know how I missed that, but I thought it was just the twins and then her oldest daughter. But she has the 3 daughters by her husband, and the oldest one is by another person. So Kelly is talking about she's ready, for them to move out of that townhouse that was just supposed to be a short-term thing. So they're talking about that. So Kelly is going to start looking for a house. Then we go over to Shamia meeting Ralph at the restaurant, And, they, sat down and they start talking for a little bit. And Ralph is asking Shamia, does Drew still work for Portia doing the Go Naked Here? And Shamia was like, she didn't really know. She don't think so. Now, my whole thing with that is that why are you asking Shamia? Why wouldn't you ask Drew that? I think he's trying to, get information to me, to try to keep tabs on, on the money. So he's writing that down. He's gonna go back and tell his lawyer, to me, allegedly, if she would have said yes, she's still working for Portia. Okay, and so then they start talking, and then they were talking about the podcast, and Shamia says, "Well, you know how we met? I met you through your wife," and he goes on to say that how him and Drew met, how long it took them to get married, have a baby, and things like that, all within like 8 months or so. And then here comes Portia walking in, and it goes to confessional. She wants to make it clear that she's not doing a tick for tat or anything like that. Okay. And also Shamia says she wants to get to the bottom if Drew and Dennis are making hot dogs. Okay. So Portia sits down, and then they start talking and things like that. And and they were talk. So then I think he said something about is Drew still working for her, and she said no, Drew is no longer working for her. And then he goes on to say, well, you and Drew used to be really, really, y'all used to be really, really close. And then Shamia says, I have no problem with Drew. I have no beef with her at all. So Ralph puts up his 2 fingers and was saying that her and Portia was close. Portia gonna spread his fingers like they not close no more. Then she goes into, now this is where I think it's getting messy for me at, where she's saying that Drew wanted to F Dennis, but I think she's reading too much into the text. I think the text was mainly was like, F that, I just want my money, to that factor, not that like F that I want to do something with you. He was saying that he wanted Drew to run him his money. So Portia goes and shows Ralph the text. And I think that was real messy. She knows that Drew is going through a very bad divorce like she is. So I don't think that was appropriate for her to show Ralph that text. And she knows that Ralph is using everything he can against Drew, with taking all of her money and things like that. So I just didn't like that. And a lot of people saying that Portia's not a girl's girl. And I'm starting to side eye Portia with some of the things that she's starting to do. But anyway, then they go into they're asking, he said that Drew cheated on him, and they said, well, who? And she said, with Ty. And they're just looking at each other. So they asked him, have you ever cheated on Drew? And he, for a minute, he pauses and didn't say anything. Then he comes back and said, no, he never cheated on Drew. Yeah. Then asking him about something about this, have you ever swirled or something? And he said something to the effect like, yes, he did, or something like that. But I just think with the scene with them eating at the table, I just didn't like that Portia brung up, the text message and showing it to Ralph. Okay. And then, whoever cheated on them, that's between Drew and Ralph. I didn't think that was appropriate for Shamia and Portia to be asking him that. And then also, I didn't like how he said he don't like the woman that Drew is becoming. First of all, Ninja, you don't have to worry about what she is becoming. Y'all are getting a divorce. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, you said you worried. You just worried about your kids, the safety of your kids. I haven't heard anything about Drew. Drew did nothing to the kids. Um, so what do you? How do you feel about that, Sandra?
I didn't. Well, the scene with Shamia and Portia and Ralph, I couldn't understand why they were meeting together. I just thought that looked kind of tacky, and I think they're trying to make a fool out of the audience, acting like, "Oh, Portia just chose the same restaurant to come in here and eat." And then, okay, they could have still just kept talking about the podcast if it wasn't really about Drew. But Portia, of course, had to bring up Drew and then start
Right.
asking kind of personal questions, and then make sure she put the information in there about the text, which I'm like you, I do think that she misread the text. Dennis told her last week that that's not what the text meant. So I didn't like that. They even met together. Shamia, of course, and all them labels, still looking pretty, but still doing too much. And letting
Right.
Portia make a fool out of her, I think, because she looked messier than Portia to me because it was her meeting. And if Portia
Right.
was going to join them and it's a business meeting, I noticed how Portia ordered Henny like she always do, but it's the
Right.
business meeting. And then Ralph, she sets the stage. He's like, okay, we're gonna have shots. No, I'm not gonna do no shots. Like she's setting some kind of boundary when I really don't think she had many boundaries. I did like Kelly and the girls. I like how those little girls drag Kelly. She got one. I guess it would be considered the middle one because you know the twins are the littlest, and then Chloe's the oldest. That one called Chance, she gets on Kelly because the little one says she wants to be a chef, and then Kelly's like, well, Chance can teach you how to cook. And Chance is like, oh, well, Mark can't cook like that, or something real funny. So those little girls remind me of little Kelly's. That's like a little sorority Barbie doll house. So I did like that first scene, but I got really annoyed during the Shamia, Portia, Ralph scene. I'm seeing too much of Ralph. Confessionals and all that. I'm seeing too much of him as a husband, especially a husband going through a divorce.
Right. All right, Teatalk, what you think?
Well, there was a lot to unpack there. But I will go ahead to the Portia and Shamia. First of all, I feel like the whole thing was messy. I don't see any need for Shamia and Ralph to have to sit down and talk about some podcast bullshit. Portia showing up was no accident. They knew Portia was coming. And then when she got there, she lied. She lied. I love Portia, but she lied. Dennis told Portia that is not what that text meant, and she read it out of context. And instead of her saying, okay, Dennis, I read it out of context, she goes over there to Ralph and pulls the same shit up and said, look, she wanted to fuck Dennis. That's not what it said. Well, that's what Dennis said. None of us ain't seen the text. Okay? So, I mean, I guess this is another time where they say production protects Portia. This would be one of those times where that's what it's looking like to me. Is that Portia can kind of get away with whatever she do. And that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, Sassy, what you think about it?
I think it was very messy. I think it was very underhanded. They trying to do a manipulation to me to make it seem like they were just meeting. They weren't meeting. They were meeting, all right, to get information and to give Ralph information, but all at the same time trying to manipulate us and say, well, you cheated, so you can't believe the rumors out there with her. So should we believe the rumors? Trying to make it look like, they were not biased. Portia, girl, you lied, child. You lied. Okay, you lied. Dennis told you the last time. That is not what that text meant, and it ain't me that's banking her. And then she said, well, who doing it? He said, I don't know, but it ain't me. And I took it as, I don't know who Drew's sleeping with. I don't know if Drew's sleeping with anybody, but she ain't sleeping with me.
I took what he said, and he knew who it was. That's what I took it as. He said, because I'm not the one doing it. So he's saying it like, matter of factly, somebody is doing it, but it's not him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, either way, he just cleared his name. And then it's funny how she showed the text to Ralph and took that thing back real quick. She and then he barely got an eyeball on it and turned it. And I think that scene was very messy. It was a setup for Shamia to look messy. It was a setup for Portia to get her lick back. That's all it was. And it was a
Yeah, you
setup so
said it
Ralph
was
can
a
get.
setup for Shamia to look messy. I think Shamia is messy.
Oh,
In this,
well, she look. Well,
in this,
she messy,
in this
but she
episode,
looking real messy.
yeah, she looked messy later on in this episode too. But
Yeah, she looked messy. But it was
let's keep
Portia lick
going.
back,
I don't know.
and
Shamia ain't
she
looking too good.
was, and she was
Oh
Portia's
yeah.
lick back, and it was information. Old narcissistic Ralph was trying to get money and try to extort Drew. And what they're doing is intervening in their divorce proceedings, and they got no business doing that.
Yeah, that's the part I didn't
That's
like.
personal. I did not like that. I think that was dirty, low down, and just shameful. Because anything that they tell him, he can actually take it to court, and say, "Hey, she did this. She's still working for Portia." See, that's what he's trying to do, get her money.
Yeah, I
You
said
know,
that.
Yeah,
and
that did come
I
up.
still say that. Hmm.
Yeah,
And I
I
did
think
like the dynamic with Kelly and her girls. I really enjoyed that. Her oldest daughter, she's TV ready, child.
she is. I like Chloe a lot. Now, what came up? I forgot to mention it. It was interesting to me that Chloe mentioned that her father is kind of a task manager. He's like, oh, you know how he is. She had a B, and he's not satisfied with that. But Chloe
Right.
first, I
Hmm.
mean, Kelly first started like, what is his name? Cavallo didn't when he
Yeah.
divorced me. He didn't want to. He didn't want to adopt Chloe and all this. How you gonna adopt Chloe when Chloe's father is in her life? So this is a
Yeah.
Kelly kind of mixing up what she told the audience. Because then y'all
Wait a
think that,
minute.
Exactly.
Chloe's father in her life. I thought Chloe's father.
Yeah.
because
She
she said her
said that
brother.
they were best friends.
Yeah, she said he's
She
like
said
my
we
brother.
do
I
great
knew it. She's
co-parenting.
like my brother. We're best friends. We're better co-parents than we were together. She's talking about Chloe's actual father and not the man that she's
Father
divorcing. But that's not the same thing she told the audience when she first started out the
first
first
came on.
couple of episodes. So again, we got a new Peach kind of forgetting what she told the audience. So
Yeah.
that
Right.
was the one thing I forgot to mention that stuck out.
Yeah. So
But
she
I love
need to
she and Kelly
go
was
back and
adorable.
rewind the tape, baby.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
not
Because
good.
Portia got like 2 strikes already. I didn't like how she said she should F Charles, and now she's being messy with Drew and Ralph. Now she just I like Portia, but I'm deciding on Portia like
Now, how we gonna be mad at Portia for filming with Ralph when Drew shouldn't have been filming with Dennis? Like
Drew was
true.
doing Drew had a business meeting. I
Sassy
didn't
said,
see
it's a
any
lick back.
flirtation
You
between
can't
Drew
go do what you don't want done to you.
and then I didn't see
No,
any
no, no.
flirtation with Drew. Drew actually
Portia
had
flirted
business
with
with
Ralph?
Dennis.
I
They were in
didn't
the
see
studio.
no.
Portia
This
flirted
was.
with Ralph?
Oh yeah, you didn't see her say, "Have you ever sniffed a woman?" What is she asking this man
Mhm.
these questions for? And the whole
Yeah.
demeanor.
Yeah, but
She
He
was
started
asking him if
drinking.
he cheated on Drew. She
What
didn't
she got
flirt
to do
with
with it? She's
him.
not
no.
afraid of Drew.
She
No,
asked
she asked him
him,
if he ever sniffed a woman. Where'd you sniff her at?
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
No,
Uh-huh.
That ain't
She said, "Oh
flirting.
no, don't do that, don't
Yeah.
tell me."
Drew and Ralph
She
were
sure
business,
did.
and I we didn't see Drew approach.
But hey,
Drew and
it's
Dennis.
JT. Welcome in here. Even though Drew and Dennis were business, she shouldn't have been filming with him. That's the part. Y'all forget the business. She can make music with whoever she wants to. If
True.
that
It's like I said, this is Portia get licked
right,
back.
so
But
Drew
Portia's
can't do
lick,
what
it
she don't
was
want done
harder.
to her.
True, but Portia's lick was nastier and harder because
Right.
of what she said and what she
Hey, if
did.
you hit me, I'm hitting you back harder than you hit me.
And then
Yeah.
spreading more lies on Drew. She ended up bringing up Ty again. Well, Ralph got to bring up
Yes.
Ty because Portia opened the door with personal questions about Drew. I think Portia is a person that projects. She thinks Drew cheated with Dennis because Portia would cheat with Ralph if she had the opportunity. If they were working on something, in my opinion, Portia would cheat with Ralph. So she accuses Drew of doing what she probably would have done. I think Portia's one of them people that's going to project. That's what she's doing with Drew. Because
She's
they
a
don't have to
baiter
keep having
too.
this back and forth. She's a
Portia
baiter.
is a
Yeah,
baiter.
she's a baiter. But Shamia, and I'll blame Shamia for letting Portia come to the meeting. I don't think Portia just dropped in that restaurant. I think the two of them planned it together. And even in their confessionals, they try to convince the audience, no, that's not what we're doing. And then Shamia starts shucking and jiving in her confessional. I'm getting kind of tired of shucking and jiving. You can be funny and have your humor, but what she's doing is not funny to me.
I thought she was saying she was bringing Portia for backup. She said, as a witness or something, she said.
It sounded like, well, yeah, she did that. Dr. T, she did say that in the confessional, but didn't they act like Portia they just ran into each other?
Yeah, but she said she was bringing her, as for a witness or something, she said.
They're too crazy. Okay.
Because she didn't want to be with Ralph by herself. Remember, Shamia didn't want to be with Ralph by herself, so she brought him Portia as the backup or whatever she said.
She did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to read Cool Cat's comment and then start on my part. Cool Cat says, Teatalk with your girl. Dennis wants to film. He's using them both. Each scene, he has his product yak and is sipping to advertise as he pretends he did not know cameras were there, and the same for Portia YouTube. Advertise. You make a good point. It could be true.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Anybody else have anything else about the scenes that Dr. T did before I begin my scenes?
What you say, Sandra? You said what?
I said, did anybody else have anything about your scenes before I begin mine? Your scene ends where they're at the business meeting with Shamia, Ralph, and Portia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. T?
Yeah.
Okay, you were? Okay.
No, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so at the end of that, we had confessional Shamia. She said, all the people of Atlanta, the USA of Atlanta, want to get to the bottom of it. And I already disclosed how I feel about that. She's giving a little bit too much. And then let's see, confessional Portia saying her side of the story as well. She said, Drew talked about my child. And then Ralph commented on that. Well, she did. And then we find out that what Shamia actually brought back to Portia wasn't kind of the same. She put a little bit more sauce on it. Okay, so that is the end of that scene. It probably come up later again because it kind of resonates throughout this episode. All right, Angela is showing a home. Confessional Angela tells us that she is $2 million in debt with these houses because she has purchased the homes. She's supposed to renovate them and flip them, but she still has 5 of these homes in her portfolio. Kelly told us earlier that this sorority Barbie doll house of 4 daughters and her 5 women, little women all together, little girls, they are going to need a bigger home. They had to sell a 7,000 square foot home. So she's going to look at Angela's home. So she comes to Angela's home that Angela wants to sell to her. Angela is actually still renovating the house. The pool is not finished. She actually only has renderings of the pool, which she said is not going to be ready for 10 days. Kelly's looking at it now, though. So Kelly comes in. She asked if it's okay to give her a hug, because the last time we saw little Kelly was at the Bailey Q being really shady with Angela. Angela says, yes, a hug is fine. So they hug each other. And confessional Kelly tells us, I feel bad about yelling if the world knows about the baby, though. All of us at the time pointed out that was real messy of Kelly. I mean, I laughed at it, but Kelly did not have to do that. And now she's feeling bad in front of Angela's face. So Angela has forgiven her already. And then confessional Angela is still being shady, though. She says Kelly has a house with 3 walls. Don't she want a 4th? I guess she's talking about that little townhouse, which it suits them now, but they outgrowing it. So confessional Kelly is being shady right back. She says she doesn't know if the house is worth $3 million. We see a closet that appears to be unfinished, and it was kind of a weird shape too. So they sit down together in kind of like a sunroom, and they're gonna have the girl conversation. So Kelly compliments Angela, says, you look pretty today. And Angela does. Angela looks beautiful. So you look pretty today. Angela says, emphasis is on today. So she's still giving it to Kelly because of how Kelly was the last time they were all together. And then they just start having a conversation. Kelly asks Angela how long she's been married. Angela lets us know that she has been with Charles for 10 years and married for, I think she said 10, or maybe she's been married for 8. I'm not sure. She said he's her best friend throughout their decades together. Angela asked Kelly, I want to know, do you know something about my marriage? Because you keep insinuating and saying things as if you know things. And Kelly says, no, she doesn't. She was teasing. So they do a lot of joking about something that Angela is really sensitive about, which is her marriage. She does ask her how the baby story got started. So Angela recounts the story again about Wendy when Wendy was at a party with Charles or an event, Charles and Angela, and it came up about Kevin Hunter and the baby. And Angela said, "It's just a baby. You can work through it." I did. Wendy remembers Angela pointing at Charles. Angela says that is not true. Angela says this was her first boyfriend. He wasn't her husband, but he was in a whole family relationship. She knew he had a baby. She didn't know he was still with the mother. So I don't know if this was a married man or not. She's saying that she was younger. Angela has said she's 44. I believe her. She said she's willing to give her birth certificate and all that. I don't need that. She's 44. The other women are in their 40s as well. She may present a little older as far as her dress and everything. She's married to an older man and she's in a different profession than the rest of the ladies. So I could see that. Professional Angela is telling us that storybook romance does not exist. That's what we grew up thinking, but it doesn't exist. So Angela tells Kelly that since the Bailey Q, she and Shamia have actually gotten closer. So look, Kelly's ears actually perked up and she's listening now. So Angela starts to drop information into Kelly, who we know is like the download into other people. So she tells her that they met and that Shamia is feeling that her friendship with Portia is a little bit strained. We see confessional Kelly said, "My bestie knows not to talk about me behind my back, and I think Angela should stay out of it." So I think that's funny that she's calling Britt her bestie. I think they've known each other maybe a year or so, and then we know that there's trouble in paradise coming up for them too. So Kelly thinks Angela should mind her business, but we haven't seen Kelly mind her business yet, which is okay for me because it keeps the story going. We're gonna allow it for Kelly. The next scene, we have Britt and Mike at home having breakfast. Y'all, Mike, I don't know what the time frame of filming is, but they showed this man's gut while he was cooking, and he looks like a Michael. He looked like a different Michael, y'all. He looked happily married. I'll say that. He looked kind of portly. So he's fixing breakfast sandwiches. He put Britt's on matcha. So Britt, does that mean you can't cook? She's making the matcha, which is the green tea, and then they put the matcha in it. He asked her if she wants 4 or 5 slices of cheese. So Britt's over there eating, but she works out, so I guess that's okay. She took 4 slices of cheese today. So she's gossiping to Mike about Angela, insulting her, and about the mileage on your mouth. And Mike is gossiping like, what? And he said, how the F did she say something like that? They come across like buddies, y'all. They really do. So Britt tells her, she says that she was arguing with Angela. Angela was giving it back to her. And Mike tells her that he reaches out to Cher. He reached out to Cher, which is the younger sister of Britt. I'm not sure of the age group, but Cher functions in a younger role because Britt tries to play the mediator. So Mike is going to meet with Cher so they can get to the bottom of things because Cher seems to think that since Britt got married to Mike, he's keeping Britt away from him. And we don't really know whether or not it's because Britt feels like her and Michael are just a family unit and her sisters are not going to be as close. We don't know, but Michael is taking the blame for that. But he has reached out to his sister. They're going to meet. So let's see. I guess I will stop there. Let me see. Sassy, what did you think about the couple of scenes that I covered with Kelly and Angela in the house and then Michael and Britt at breakfast?
I feel like Kelly was low shading Angela in the house, and she was saying the house is $3 million, and she was like, no. The tea on that is Angela, Shamia, and her husband wanted to buy the properties from her. And this is why Angela is low key throwing shade at Shamia and telling her business because they offered to get her to buy a property because of something her husband wanted to do with a property and to help her get out of debt. And some kind of way the deal maybe fell through. I got the receipts. I have to look at it again. But anyway, they got, she got mad at Shamia, and this is what's doing this with Angela. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, sorry, y'all. This is why Angela is low key throwing shade. And I agree. Britt and her husband act more like friends than they do. I mean, they don't act married. I don't never see them touchy feely huggy. They act more like best friends.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Yeah. And let's see, the house was nice. It needed a lot of work still on the outside. But I think overall she did a good job, but it's not worth no $3 million.
Yeah, especially unfinished. It's got to be picture book
Yeah,
ready
it's
for it to be
yes,
finished.
it's gotta be. They gotta set the stage for it and everything. I mean, if
Mhm.
you talking about $3 million house with an unfinished pool?
Yeah,
Nah.
no. Mm-mm. Drop the T. What'd you
So
think
that's
about the scenes? Either the breakfast scenes with Mike and Britt, or with the rental, not the rental, the property, the portfolio of houses Angela has and Kelly.
Well, I thought Kelly was kind of, when she told Angela, "You look pretty today," I thought that was some slick shade. Like, you don't look pretty
Yes.
none of the other days, but today you look not
Angela
know
caught it.
Angela got it.
Caught it.
But Angela, she dresses old fashioned to me.
Yeah.
She don't dress like she 44. She dressed to me. She dressed old fashioned.
Mhm.
I don't know what type
I
of
think
shoes
she
she
just
got.
dressed conservative.
Yeah,
You think
matron
so? Okay.
business like
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. Office like, I don't know.
But sometimes she can let a little loose sometimes. She
Yeah.
just, that's why, but, to me, she dresses a little different. She's, everybody else, dresses, nice. And she's just, kind of old fashioned. But the house. Now, I don't understand why she got into $2 million in debt. You should have flipped one or two of the houses before you bought the other ones, instead of putting
Mhm.
yourself in all that debt, and none of these houses
Mhm.
are selling. And a
Mhm.
lot of people ain't buying nothing right now because of the economy that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So you didn't really, kind of screwed yourself. Ain't nobody trying to buy, no houses for, $1 million and things like that. I think she should have maybe bought, like I said, one or two and see how that went. And then if that would have went good, she should have bought, some more. And then with the renovations, you showing people a house and the pool, doesn't have any water in it, or
Mhm.
I don't know what that green water was or whatever it was.
Mhm.
And then you want $1 million for the house, and the house don't even have a proper closet. I don't know if that was a hallway or I don't know what it was, but it
Yeah,
didn't
it
look like
was
it was
strange.
fine. It was no. And I think that again, Kelly be throwing that shade when they asked her in her confessional, "Do you think the house is worth $1 million?" And she was like, no, she really didn't want to say anything. But to me, she knew that house is not worth no $1 million. It's
Mhm.
finished. The pool is not even finished. The closet, or I don't know if it was a closet or a closet, or looks like a hall, like a long hallway.
Mhm.
That's what
Um,
it looked like.
yeah. So Angela to me is just trying to put that house down on off on anybody to try to to get that house sold. Also,
Mhm.
I don't think Angela is really feeling Kelly, but she was gonna talk to her to try to get that house sold. To me,
Yeah.
because she told her to come in, take your coat off and things like that. I think she still has a problem with Kelly, but because she's trying to get that house sold, she want Kelly to buy that house. She's trying to be, nice to her and things like that. Um, I think, like I told y'all before, I'm on the fence with Kelly because I think Kelly is the bone carrier.
It
On
is.
she's the bone carrier. Carrier.
Mhm.
So that's all I had to say about the scene.
And Teatalk, I'm sorry, I meant to end with Sassy and I went the wrong direction because Sassy's after me. So Teatalk, after you finish your opinion on the scenes that we gave with Britt and Kelly, and then Angela and Kelly and Britt and Mike, you toss back to Sassy.
What happened?
Oh Lord.
Sassy is next. So when you review the scenes
So
first
you
and then
took
toss.
Sassy. So you took
That's
Sassy's
what I was
part.
just telling you. No, I didn't take Sassy's part. Sassy's goes after me, but I started with her, and I meant to end with her so she can go straight into her part.
Oh.
Mhm.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we just want your
Okay,
opinion
I got
on
you.
yeah,
I
Angela
got
and
what you're
Kelly
saying. Yeah,
and
yeah,
Britt
yeah.
and Mike.
Right. So for me, um, Angela and I agree with y'all. The consensus that they look more like friends. They don't look like they go together. They look like they could be friends or brother and sister or some crap like that. But I think she's beard. That's what I think. But that's just a legend in my opinion. She's giving beard to me. But it also appears that she can't cook. Okay, like Sandra P said. And then who else was it? What else? What else? Angela and Kelly. I agree with you. Drop the T that Angela ain't feeling Kelly. She just need to get them houses off her because her ass is in debt. Okay, she is in debt. She done bought all them houses, like you said. She should have sold one or two of them before she started buying three, four, and five one. I don't know why you buy all them houses and you don't got nobody to buy them right away. She should have had shit lined up. Like she just went out and bought houses and they just sat and talking about she $2 million in debt. That's not a good thing. So yeah, that's what I thought about that. And I just don't think that Angela really uh like Kelly, and I think that Angela is the bone carrier also. Angela
Yeah,
is the pot
good
stirrer.
point.
She
Angela is
sure
the pot
is.
stirrer. Yeah.
Mhm.
Angela is getting paid. She's earning that check.
She
That's
She
earning
my
that
collects a
money.
lot of information, and she's good at it. Just making conversation,
Yeah, she
collecting it,
is. She is.
collecting information.
Yeah.
She's great at baiting. She's
Yeah,
great at baiting people. She's great, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
She know how to read Portia.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Mhm.
But she don't want to be.
So,
She don't want to be out. She don't want to be fell out with Portia.
no, no, she don't want to fall out with Portia, but
Mm-mm.
she don't really like Portia. You know what I'm saying? She's willing, in my
I
opinion, I
don't.
feel like she's willing to tolerate Portia.
I
keep your
think that
enemies
she did
close.
like Portia, and I think that Portia hurt her when Portia said what she said about Charles. But I think
Yeah.
in the beginning, she did want to be like Portia's friend. That's why she was mad that Shamir was Portia's sidekick. I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
she wanted to be Portia's sidekick. That's what it was.
Mhm.
But Sassy, you can go ahead, girl.
Well, they ended up with, the husband and the best friends, okay? So Portia and Angela meets up playing tennis. And Portia, had her little onesie on, child. And she thought she was Serena Williams. And they were playing tennis, having a good time. And Portia, you know, I think Angela kind of shunned her a little bit with the tennis, and she said, "You didn't know Big Bird can swing like that, could you?" And then Angela called her Snuffleupagus, and then she said, "But Snuffleupagus, whatever that name is, Snuffleupagus, she can play a little bit." So the shade was cute and funny. Um, they sit down, they're talking about, Portia meets her daughter. Portia, hugs her and she sits down, and Angela talks about her daughter getting married, how it hurt her. They reflect back to her and her daughter talking. And, she finally admitted that her daughter is married to a woman, which is no deal. But I think Angela had an issue with it. Because, in my opinion, why wouldn't your daughter tell you about it? But anyway, um, they sit down. Angela and Portia are talking about things that's being said. And Angela brings up Shamia. And Angela is telling Portia in a roundabout way. Shamia is still hurt because Portia didn't come to her Kenya wedding. And Portia is like, looking at Angela. And then, but let me back it up. They talk about Drew first. They talk about Drew. And Portia says that Drew was trying to sleep with Dennis, and Angela's like, nah, I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that. Um, Oh, sorry, y'all. That was my husband. Hold on for one second. Sorry, y'all. Um, so and she said, no, I don't believe that. She said, well, this is what Dennis texts me. And she said, well, I don't believe that about Drew. And she said, and Shamia told me that Drew said that her monies can pay for my baby's college and in a such a roundabout way. And then Andrew's like, no, that's not how she said that. She said that she didn't say it that way. She didn't put the spin on it the way Shamia did. So they reflect back, and really and truly, Drew did not put that on there like Shamia said. Not in my opinion. Okay, she was just saying from this business deal, this is money going towards Pilar's future, her future, and anybody else's future. But then Portia got shocked. Got a little hold back. Okay. But anyway, they get to talking about um Shamia. Shamia is still hurt about the Kenya wedding. Portia didn't make her wedding, but Portia maintained that she made the wedding for the American wedding. And Angela's like, well, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had, and she's feeling a type of way. And she felt, and Portia started to feel bad about how Shamia brought that stuff back to her about Drew. And then here come the puppy dog tears. Okay. The tears were flowing because it was a deflection on Portia's end. She didn't want to talk about it no more. So she started crying, in my opinion. Okay, so then they should have just named this one, booty for beats. That's what they Angela was calling Drew in the confessional. And again, like I said, Portia, she explained what Dennis wanted. He wanted run me my money and not the booty. Okay. And then she was in the confessional saying the same thing. Portia just took this whole thing out of proportion. And in my opinion, she just used this because she needed a storyline. Period. Um, uh, see, Portia said that. What's that? Is that my? Oh, okay. Portia said, that each person should tell each one of their sides, and each one of them should have, the same amount, to tell their sides. And it was also brought up with Angela that Portia did not want her on the show. And Portia told Angela that is not true because she's always wanted, um, what is that my baby? Oh, she's always wanted, because she said, your husband don't want to film. This is why Shamia ended up being a friend of the show. Um, let's see. All right. So next is Drew and the kids. Her son, she's cooking the kids, her son something to eat. They have a cute little moment. Um, then she goes into talking, and she's going in with her life coach or therapist that used to be their marriage counselor. And she's telling him about what happened at the divorce, and she's saying, well, at the court hearing, and Drew is saying that, with a flashback, that she's yelling at Ralph, I don't ever want to talk to you again, don't ever speak to me. And he's pretty much saying, excuse me, y'all. She's pretty much saying, it's like he's winning, and she's in a different space, and she's her music is her passion. She said it seems like everything is just coming against her, and honestly, that's probably the realest I've seen Drew on this show, because she was more relaxed and actually expressing how she felt, and she was just saying it's a lot, and she is like unraveling. And so she got up from that, and she she went on her way. And then you see the scene with the Portia, pampered by Portia. They're getting ready. They it's really pretty. They come in with their lingerie on, honey. I don't know what the hell Kelly had on, but she looked like a peacock on steroids. Okay, I don't know what that was, and all the tail. Angela, I don't know, child. Anyway, they all in there. So you guys tell me what you guys think about, the scene with Portia and Angela. What you think?
I thought that Portia, when they were out there, after they got done playing tennis and they were talking and stuff, I think that Shamia should have put her nose in there by telling her that Shamia was upset that she didn't come to the wedding that was in Kenya. I don't think that was her business to do that.
Mhm.
She should have, mind her own business. Now I'm starting to think she a bone carrier too. What Teatalk said. Now her and Kelly both. I'm sure that
Mhm.
they've been friends for a long time. Portia and Shamia. Shamia was gonna possibly get around to telling her how she felt. I don't think that was Angela's place to tell her that. I don't think Shamia told her to talk to Portia about it. I didn't hear that, so I don't think she should have did that. And I think
Yeah.
Portia with the fake crying, no, no, ma'am, no. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of Portia and Drew scenes are given, and their scenes are given storyline. It's not given authentic to me. Um,
I agree.
they're not given authentic to me. Um, Angela, you know, Angela, talks about, that she don't want no drama and different things like that, but she always like sending flick shade all the time to me. Um, but like I said, with that thing with them, at her property, at the property, because she didn't want Portia to come to her main house, she had to come to one of her rental properties because of Charles. So to me, she's intimidated by Portia, and that's a bad thing to do, to show your hand to another woman that you think another woman can take your husband or can help your husband. That's what is given to me from what Angela said, that she didn't want to invite Portia to her home because she said she could help Charles. That's just my take on it. What you think about it, too, Talker?
Mhm.
I'll let Sassy or one of them go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, Sassy already went.
Sa- yeah,
Yeah.
Sandra.
It's Sandra P. I mean, you on mute. You on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I actually like to see where Portia and Angela met at the rental property. I didn't mind Angela, confessional Angela, still bringing it up. She said, "I'm not going to invite a woman to my actual house where she said she'd F my husband." I don't know that she is intimidated by Portia. I think she's real sensitive about anybody joking about her marriage. I
Mm.
don't know if she is intimidated by Portia. She could be, but she's smart not to have her in the house, whether Charles is home or not, especially if he's in here cleaning up, frying chicken, and we know Portia might be looking for somebody that's willing to do that. So I think that was a smart move on Angela's part. I thought it was funny. Portia talking about Angela's wingspan, which is bird related, and then Angela saying, "I didn't know Snuffleupagus could play tennis either." So I thought that part
Yeah.
was funny as well.
Yeah.
So they could kind of dig at each other a little bit, but I was kind of I thought it was interesting that Portia was willing to open up so much to Angela. If Angela had been
Mm-hmm.
telling me about my best friend of decades, Shamia, what she said about me, I would not have let her know that it upset me. But we get the fan spread out in front of her face. I didn't see any tears. I don't know if she is faking or not, but I feel like she shouldn't have showed her hand like that. That's a sore spot between her and Shamia. Because Angela already looking for something to get Portia on because of what she said about Charles. And I think she's going to use this, as we see later, as opportunity to get it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I thought about those.
I
And then
do
Tito,
agree. I do agree. I think Angela is setting the scene for something greater
yeah.
because
Later.
yeah. All right, T-Talk, let us know, sis. What's up?
I guess I'm the
And
odd man out. I guess I'm the odd man out.
Uh-oh.
I think the scene was good, but I don't agree with what y'all think. I feel like Portia is human just like we are. She's a woman, and I think that she might have been caught off guard to know that Shamia was talking about her behind her back to her friends that don't know anything about what happened 10 years ago. But now they all question her about, oh, you was a bad friend and you didn't do this and you didn't do that, all because Shamia went and told them that. Like Angela said to her, how would I know that Portia didn't come to your wedding? You told us. So Shamia been talking about Portia behind her back, but now it's like Portia getting all the smoke because Portia had feelings about it. I don't like that. Shamir, we can't gloss over the fact that none of this would happen if Shamir wasn't behind Portia back talking about her. They supposed to be best
Yeah.
friends. And then, well, that didn't come up yet. We'll talk about that when it come up. But I just feel like Shamir's messy and Shamir started this and then she gonna try to deflect and start crying and act like she didn't start it. And that people are doing what people do anyway. It's like a herd mentality. If somebody did something once, oh, prime example, Portia. Portia messed with Simon. Now here we got Angela saying, "Oh, she can't come to my house because she fucked people's husband, or she said she gonna mess with my husband." But you didn't take Kelly to your house either, so why didn't you take Kelly to your house?
Exactly.
Because Kelly sure didn't want to buy none of those houses. Kelly's house looked
Mm-mm.
way better than those houses. So it wasn't that Kelly wanted to buy no house, but Kelly did go over there and make fun of the houses when they
Yeah.
weren't done. Look at the pool and all that other stuff. So she don't want to take nobody to her house. So I
Mm-mm.
don't think that was fair to say, "Oh, I don't want to take Portia because she said she's gonna hunt my husband." Why didn't you take Kelly? You think she's short enough to
Because
give?
maybe they ain't living together.
Huh?
Maybe they ain't living together. That's why
That's
she
what
ain't
I'm
want to
saying.
take.
Why you didn't want to take nobody to your house? It wasn't just Portia, but
Take
Shamia.
it.
I feel like let me see. Shamia's been shutting Portia off. Yes, that's what I'm. See, that's what I was about to say. Shamia is
What
setting it all up. She doing what my mother would say, fattening the frog for the snake. She putting all this stuff, and it's all on Portia. She done went to this radio station, said that Portia did something when Portia didn't talk about her. She admitted it herself. Portia didn't talk about her. She talked about Portia, and now she mad at Portia because now she find out. Oh, now I'm finding out. We ain't get there yet, but now I'm finding out you didn't come to my wedding because we wasn't speaking. You knew that y'all wasn't speaking. Everybody knew. We watched the show. Y'all, Shamia did the same shit with Candy, and they did the same thing. They spent the narrative and made it look like Portia was the bad friend. But anyway, that's what I don't agree with y'all. I think that Portia had feelings. I think maybe she could have been crying when she put the fan over her face. I think she was caught off guard. She didn't want y'all to see her crying. She didn't want nobody to see it. She put that fan up. I think she was genuinely hurt because as we gonna see moving forward, Portia has not talked about Shamir at all. But Shamir has talked about Portia. And to say, oh, I stop people from when they want to talk about you. You stopped the people from talking about you, but you didn't stop yourself from talking about her because you talked about her. So, irregardless if you stop those women from talking about her, you talked about it yourself. So, I guess only she could talk about Portia. I'm not sure how that works out. But anyway, yeah, Shamir is not getting off the hook with me because I see her and many women like her. So, that's my feelings on it. That's just my feelings. Yep. Miss Murray says Shamia is Portia's twin. I agree. They just alike. Folks fail to realize this was filmed last spring, summer, not long after Portia had filed for divorce. Give the girl a break. Let me see. Kelly and Britt can't come around anyone I know dressed like Fredericks of Hollywood at 12 noon. They always want their ass and titties out. I don't.
Mhm.
How old are these girls?
They're all in their, well, Britt's the youngest. She's in her late 30s, but Kelly's in her 40s.
They always want their ass out.
Yeah, it's too much.
I don't ass and titties. They put their titties up on tables and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. I don't agree with that either. Tate Portia don't deserve a break. Not everybody deserves a break,
She's
but
not giving Drew one. I'll tell you that.
yeah. But I think her and Drew are together on the storyline. I think
I
even
hope
when the
so.
even when the scene gonna come up with Drew and Portia, look at Drew when she says, "And you was with Future," and she like start laughing. I swear, these girls working together. That's what I think anyway. I don't. I could be wrong. Anyway, we're gonna keep going on. I said, in my opinion, Angela is a troublemaker because she tells Portia um, that because we in the place now. Like Sassy said, we over there pampered by Portia. All the girls that came in now, they all sitting around and everything. And so Lauren is leading this pampered by Portia thing. I know it was gonna be some bullshit where Lauren is gonna say, "Oh, now we want to know about your feelings," because Lauren's supposed to be this what some kind of guru where she can help people with their feelings and all this other stuff. Okay, so Lauren says, they want to open up who got something to say. So of course, Angela, she says, well, Portia, Shamir feels like the relationship is lopsided, and she's holding on to her feelings for Portia not going to her wedding. Okay. She also Angela let me see. She also tells Angela Portia didn't want her in the group. Okay, this is the stuff that Angela is telling that Shamia told her. Okay, sorry, y'all. Something in my eye. Drew showed up first at this place. Anyway, wait a minute. Sass, you got me off because you said we was already there. Anyway, Portia said when it comes to Drew, she not arguing with nobody. Portia welcomes the women in, blah, blah, blah. Portia and Shamia are taking pics. They're best friends before all this kicks off. I don't know how I got to the other part with Angela already. I must have wrote that for something else. Why did I write that right there? That ain't making sense. Anyway, Portia and Shamia taking pics. Kelly and Portia get together. Kelly can't wait to tell Shamia what happened at Angela's house. Okay. Kelly, like I said, Kelly and Angela are the bone carriers, pot stirrers. I don't know if they got with production and this is like kind of what their job is to do. I really feel like that gotta be Angela's job because that is what Angela does. Okay. Anyway, Shamia over there when they start the whole exercise, because I didn't skip that part. Shamia setting up. Everybody else laying down. She setting up like, bitch, I'm not sitting there. I'm not laying back. I'm gonna sit right here. So Kelly with her ass out, she runs over there to Shamia. I really think she just really wanted to put her butt in the camera. But anyway, she goes over there to Shamia. And Shamia's telling her she feeling the way, blah blah blah. So Portia, she's looking and trying to figure out like how the two of them over there sitting up when we all supposed to be doing this exercise, okay? But anyway, I really think that Shamia did that on purpose because Portia did that shit with her song because she still feel a way about that. So I feel like both of them petty. They the same. They one and the same. They do petty shit to each other. So anyway, they sitting there and they going back and forth and so on and so forth. So anyway, let's get to the part where Lauren finally says to anybody want to talk. So Angela goes directly into this Portia and Shamia bullshit. Okay. And Portia's trying to figure out, well, Angela, why do you even know about this? Why is this a topic for you? Angela says it was laid out on a silver platter. But Shamia and Portia went back and forth. And in that conversation, Portia told Shamia, I never talked about you because Shamia was talking about this reciprocity shit. So what if Portia gave reciprocity and then talked about you to all y'all friends? I just think Shamia's wrong, and it's irritating the hell out of me that Portia's getting all the rap for this. Portia was wrong as hell for sleeping with Simon while Simon was married. Even if Fallon was pregnant. The man was still married. It's still wrong in the eyes of God. We, the people, can't crucify these people because I'm sure that some of us have done. I'm not going to crucify the woman. To me, the only person that I really got into like that is Melody. I'm not crucifying these people. This woman is good TV, and that's why I like her, and that's the end of it for me, and that's what it's going to be. I do not hate Portia. I don't feel like everything that none of these women do on TV, some of it is not real. So I'm just not going to hate those women like that, okay? I want to make sure I don't forget nothing. Because I wrote a lot. I took a lot of notes, but when Angela was asked Shamia how she feels, Shamia said she was fine or whatever. But in the confessional, Angela says that Shamia has been wanting to tell Portia these things, and she just needed a little push so she would speak up. Okay. Now Shamia said she never allowed anybody to speak on their friendship. The girls agreed, but again, like I said, Portia said, but nobody. I never talked about you. So I just feel like Shamia was wrong in this whole instance. Shamia should have spoke on Portia like that. If she had a problem with Portia, she should go to Portia and speak to Portia, because Portia's supposed to be her friend. Why is you going to Angela telling Angela you still got friends about some fucking wedding 10 years ago? You should have been resolved that shit with Portia. You and Portia should have been resolved a long time ago. To me, it wouldn't matter why you didn't come. If you didn't come and I was that mad, then I just wouldn't fool with you no more. If I was that mad, but I'm not going to carry this shit around with me for 10 years and be mad at you, but yet you right up in my circle. That's stupid to me. If somebody aggrieves you to the point that you can't get past it, you got to either let them go or let the shit go. One or the other.
Some of it's giving storyline to me, you know,
Yeah.
because 10 years, and they had this argument one time before.
Yes.
They had it before, so why bring it up again?
This is what I'm
And
saying.
then Shamia says, um, on the next episode, so Portia's getting kind of, like bored because they've had this conversation. So why keep bringing it up? It just you keep beating a dead horse, and it's just you ain't gonna make it come alive. Okay.
Right.
Um, I think to me, both Portia and Shamia are one and the same.
Yep.
I think the reason why Shamia is so hyped is because they are used to acting like that with each other. Um, and Portia usually used to spin the block with little words and make it seem like back in the day, this really happened when it didn't happen. But Shamia is still doing it, and Portia is kind of like growed up just an inch from it. And so now Shamia is in a place where she's stuck, and Portia has actually kind of moved on from, putting a spin on it. Not 100% because she put a spin on Drew, but her and Drew are storylines. So she got to put a spin on that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with them two. But the 10-year thing, it's time to let that go. Okay, talk about it, end it. If y'all gonna be friends, be friends.
That's right.
Be grown ups
and
stop playing like y'all 15 years old. Y'all not 15 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all old ass women with your butts hanging out, and I don't like that. You got 4 girls, Kelly, and you out here showing your tail. Yeah, you got a good your cute little shape and stuff. But damn, you can put stuff on and make yourself look sexier because you didn't look sexy to me in that at all. Made you
She
look
love her
raggedy.
ass out. She love her ass and her titties out.
Hmm.
I don't understand it. I mean, they love it.
I mean,
They
if you pay
absolutely
for it, I guess they gonna
love
show
it.
it.
Yeah, but Shamia to me is just showing. But you know, that's why I was surprised this week when I was watching the different thumbnails and people talking, and everybody was blaming Portia, and I was like,
Yeah.
did I watch it wrong on Sunday? So I knew I had to, watch it again. So I said I'll wait till I watch it again. But watching it, rewatching it, I'm just like, so people just want to blame Portia because
Yeah.
clearly Portia said, I never talked about you. She agreed Portia never talked about her.
Yeah.
But now she said it's your shitty attitude. And then when it wasn't a shitty attitude, it was like, oh, I never knew that's why you didn't come to my wedding. Well, why the fuck didn't you? Because I knew you was over there with Candy and all them, and they was dogging Portia out.
Yeah.
Why Portia didn't come to your wedding. So why didn't you know that? Then you came home, y'all cried it out, y'all made up, and then you put her in your Atlanta wedding,
Wedding.
the
Hmm.
traditional wedding.
I guess they thought we forgot.
Girl,
I was like, where is this coming from? Because this has been done before. Why are you still talking about this wedding?
Okay, I keep Deborah Randall's comment. We all knew Shamia and Portia were beefing back then 10 years ago. Shamia didn't stop Candy and Carmen from talking about her at that table years ago. I thought I remember
Mm-mm.
Shamia saying, "You're not going to talk about my friend like this." She didn't say that.
no man.
I
It's
thought,
been years
I
ago.
don't know.
Okay,
I
Shamia
don't
didn't
know.
take that
Portia
to,
Portia may not have talked about Shamia, and I don't know whether she did or didn't. She didn't stop
mhm.
Phaedra from talking about Shamia. When
Yeah,
Phaedra
she
made a
sure
hand
did know
motion,
that.
effing, and made a
But
hand
that
motion,
was
she
after
put Shamia
that was
all in that
after
mess with Candy.
that was after Candy then, right?
No, I don't know when the time frame was, but
Oh,
for
I'm telling
Portia to
you,
act like
that's what
she's
happened.
never talked about, Portia has allowed people to talk about Shamia.
Yeah, after Shamia allowed Candy them to dog her out, I wouldn't have protected Shamia either. They was not in a good place then.
Well,
Mm-mm.
we can't say that Portia has
Yeah.
never talked about or allowed other
No,
people to
no,
talk
no,
about
no. We
if we
talking
see her.
about now though, Sandra P. We talking about
But
this
then we
season.
did go back 10 years. We can't go back 10
No,
years
no,
on one issue and then
Shamia
only
went
talk
back
about
10
now.
years. Shamia went back 10 years, and I don't agree with that. I don't even think that crap
Yeah.
should have been brought up. But Shamia brought it up because she needed to paint that narrative that Portia was a bad friend. So how else do she paint the
What did
narrative
she get
but
out of
go
that?
back and say, oh, she didn't even come to my wedding?
What does Shamia get out of a narrative of Portia being a bad friend? I've
I don't
seen
know. You would
evidence
have
of
to ask
Portia
her
not
that.
being a good friend.
You would have
I've
to
seen
ask her
evidence.
that.
I don't think Portia's a good friend. I don't think Portia's a girl's girl. I've seen Portia get mad at her own sister for getting pregnant
Yeah.
before she did. When Lauren
Well,
was carrying
I'm
her
not saying that
child,
she didn't, but we talking
Portia's
about
not a girl's girl.
this season, the conversation
Mhm.
that they was having, and Shamia started this, regardless of what happened 10 seasons ago, 5 seasons ago. This season, Shamia started all of this fighting between her and Portia. Shamia did, not Portia, Shamia. And Shamia started it by going back to talk about something that happened 10 years ago. So, what would be her motive to do that
I don't
Mm.
know that she did that. I think
with
she
these
does have a
Negroes?
problem with
What is
Portia, but
that
I
doing?
think it's probably more than one issue. I do. I think it's probably a buildup of treatment from Portia.
I agree. I think that it's a lot
I don't
because
see
they've
Portia
been
as a
knowing each
good
other for years. But you
friend.
got to
Yeah,
realize
my
that Shamia mama and Portia mama were good friends, and they're no longer friends.
We saw that scene where Miss Diane and Lauren are sitting up cackling about Portia's bad behavior when she was drunk at her birthday in
Hmm.
Nashville. They thought that was cute. And so if Miss Diane is no longer friends with Shamia's mom, and then I'll go way back. It could be a situation where the moms are friends. They want the girls to be friends. The girls are
Hmm.
kind of surface friends. Maybe they never really were. I'm not going to say that. I think they were close friends. There's something in there that we're not getting, but I don't blame Shamia more than Portia. I know people want to rehabilitate Portia's reputation. I don't see that being able to happen. I'm
Oh
just
no,
not.
I'm
I
not.
used to
I'm
love
not. I'm
Portia.
definitely not trying
Couldn't
to
wait for her
rebuild
to
her
come
because
back.
I'm not.
I'm not seeing it for Portia this
Yeah,
season. and
I'm
I
not
haven't seen it.
and I ain't seen it for Shamia, so we both on two sides of the
We
track.
equal then. Yeah, we on
I
the
don't like sneaky ass females that start trouble and then try to
there's
cry
two of
about
them,
it
two of a
later.
kind.
Huh?
There's something
Yeah.
going on with Portia though.
Yes,
The way
there's
it was a look, that was a look Portia gave. And it gave me kind of like manipulation in a minute. I think both of them are manipulating
I said
this
yes to
whole
G Herford.
situation.
Yeah, I think so.
I,
Yes.
I love my Portia now, but Portia she a good job at spinning things. But I think it's something we are missing.
Yeah.
But this
I just
10-year
think
thing, I
think
just don't know why they bring that up. Don't bring that up no more. Y'all fought over that. That's old.
what?
Bring up the issues
wedding?
at hand. What happening? Yeah, don't
Well,
bring that wedding up no more.
Is Shamia gonna fight? How else is she gonna fight with Portia? How else is she gonna fight with Portia?
I don't know. She the one introduced Simon
How
to
else
her,
does she
so
have a fight with? They have nothing else to fight about.
I know.
Clearly,
So I
but
guess
she was such a bad person. Shamia didn't have nothing else to talk about, but 10 years later to go get a wedding that Portia didn't come to.
Well, Angela was saying that Portia, we didn't see the whole conversation, but Angela was telling Portia that Shamia feels like Portia didn't really want her on the show. I don't know if that's true or not. Portia
said
Candy brought her on the show. Portia claimed, I had a list. You on the list? I thought Candy brought Shamia to the show, even though they were both friends of Shamia, and Portia was a longer-term friend than Candy
Shamia
was.
just sat there tonight and said that Portia showed her where she did want her on the show. So that wasn't
true. She did show her. Yeah.
Portia
had her name on it. But because Gerald didn't want to film.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah. I put you on the list. I said, well, I want Sassy with me. And then I said, I want Sassy with me, but her Sassy husband don't really like her filming.
Well,
that's not what the
we just saw Portia try to cheat Nene out of her bag over on Netflix. And then nobody gonna convince me that Portia don't go behind the scenes on.
We know all that. The thing we can't do is bring up every little thing Portia ever did to make a point.
Yes, you can.
We're talking about this season. We're talking about this season.
We go.
I don't care how she is as a person, honestly.
Well, we're talking about
the show, right?
Technically, we're talking about character on the show.
Yeah, we are talking about her character.
Every season, y'all should be talking about the season. I don't go back and dig up them people's stuff like that.
No, but when I look at a character of a person, Portia is not a girl's girl, and I love Portia. Don't get me wrong. But she's not, and it is what it is when it comes to Portia. And Portia knows this game all too well, and she plays it very well.
Well, okay, let's stick to this season. What episode was that when Shamia's husband gave her that car and Portia lets them film her in her house 2 hours away, and then shows up late, walks in the middle of the lady's speech, and then pulls her aside and acts like that? That happened this season, first or second episode.
I think it was the first one.
Okay, so she started out the season being shady and then lied that production kept her at her house or whatever the excuse was.
People are really reaching to find a reason not to like Portia.
No, I don't dislike
Portia. I like Portia. I think Portia's a fun girl. I have roles
about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes. I don't have to agree with what Portia does. I don't care.
No, that's why we got the panel. All of us not going to agree, but Portia,
we shouldn't.
Her character is very shaky, and she's done some shaky stuff. So have the rest of them. So this thing with Shamia and Portia it runs deep, but I feel like Angela is getting her lick back with Portia with this. Whether we believe it or not,
all them pieces around on the chessboard, and they're doing exactly what she wanted to do. Angela got a lot of stuff.
They playing them like a fiddle, honey.
Yeah, she playing them. She
playing chess. She gonna get her peach next time.
Kelly
Angela, she playing.
Yeah,
because they finna go at it.
Yeah.
Yep. They finna go at it now. Whew.
I did like the pamper party.
Y'all.
I thought the pamper party was done really smart. I think your business should absolutely be on this platform. So for Portia to have her there, Absolutely, she should have done
She
that. The
did
pictures
that.
were really pretty. I thought that was a good
Oh
idea.
yeah.
You want to
And
get
then
together
Drew
and
talking about, are we
together.
ambassadors? I think we should be getting
We want
paid
some
if
money.
we're
Yeah.
ambassadors.
Portia's like, no. Portia said, you on your job, you get paid. But they should have. The party was nice.
And when
Yeah,
Portia
Sonya,
told
I
Britt,
thought
damn, Britt, get sick, move,
Yeah.
and jerk the sheets, I was like,
I think two things can be true. Logical one. One may not be a good friend, and then Shami is not innocent.
I don't think either
no,
one of them
Shami
are
is
good
definitely.
friends. I don't think either one of them are good friends to each other.
I
They
have to
both,
agree to that. Yeah.
they've both went
Yeah,
behind each other, talked about each other. I don't
they
think those
did.
girls are real friends. I just don't.
I don't.
Especially
I
them
don't.
women.
I think they just remain friends because of their parents. I do.
Yeah.
I don't think they're real
Yeah,
good friends.
yeah,
That's just me. I mean, I'm with you,
yeah. I don't think so
Teatalk,
too.
on that one.
Because
And this
friends
show
don't
is
do
just
that.
bringing it
Like
out.
y'all not gonna
Nah,
find me. Y'all not gonna find me behind your back talking about you
nah,
and telling
they
somebody.
ain't
If
doing
I
no
got a
mess like
problem
that.
with you, we gonna have to work it out when I got the
Yep.
problem because I can't walk around mad at you. I ain't gonna be able to
I
do
can't.
that.
I have to
And I don't
talk it
want you
out.
around me. I don't want you around me if we got unresolved issues. We need to resolve our issues so we
Exactly.
can move on. Yeah. So if she had
Exactly.
them issues for all these years, then that's it.
It
Sexy
could like,
Diva, hey, Sexy Diva. Sexy Diva says
hey, sex.
that Shamia started the talking about Portia first this season. Well, up to last night, Sexy Diva, Portia still hadn't talked about her, according to
No,
Portia and Shamia.
unless
Portia
it's
hadn't
something
talked about
behind the scenes they're not showing, but Portia has
her.
not. It's
No,
been mostly Drew.
they both agreed that Portia hadn't talked about her. Portia hadn't
True.
said nothing
Well,
about her.
Portia been on Drew ass, you know.
Right.
Portia been on Drew, and Drew about to had enough.
Mahogany said Candy messed up their friendship in her
Yeah, Candy
Yeah.
leaked it in. I don't know where
opinion.
she was at.
Nope,
It was
it
some
was all
type of live.
Shamia.
She brought
Shamia,
it up
you can't
before.
let nobody mess up your friendship. Yeah, you
If
can't
it
let
ain't
nobody, no
already
other woman
fractured.
can. If I rock with these ladies up here, nobody can come and break up what we got. Nobody. If
Nobody.
just like when Kelly told Shamia about what Angela told Portia and that Portia cried, Shamia instantly was like, "Oh yeah, she running behind talking about blah, blah." Did you call Portia and ask Portia what was said?
Yeah,
Nope. But
exactly.
you talked
Because
about it
I know
to
I am.
Angela. You talked about it to Kelly, but you never picked up the phone to call Portia, your friend, to say, "Hey, girl, what's going on?"
What's
Because
up?
Kelly told me that, girl, we need to link up. What's going on? Nope. Wait till they get to the party. That's when it all come out. No. Shamia, she just like Portia. They twins. Drew is over
Yeah.
Portia and I want to be bothered with Portia and her low down antics. The parents stopped being funny. So when Portia mom got arrested for stealing from Mosaic Foundation.
Cool cat is
Child,
that?
Portia mama was stealing.
You know
Yeah,
what?
child.
I'm gonna bring up something. Just, hey, listen, I'm gonna ask for grace. I'm gonna bring it up. I know we sticking to this season, but Portia family matters. Okay, when they
Oh,
went down,
Lord.
Portia was able to get Simon down there. Dennis came down there. Everybody was down there. Miss Diane was in a boot back at her house. Okay, she did
Yeah.
not even. She didn't come to Mexico, and you know she don't. Nothing would stop Miss Diane from Mexico. She was laying up in her bed. Portia brought us some lemon pepper wings. I remember, and they talked about how things went. And then Portia had a scene at Hosea Feed the Hungry because Portia's active in Hosea Feed the Hungry and with that side of the family. And the aunt and Portia were talking about what went on. So Miss Diane didn't show up to that scene either. Cool cat. I don't know. Fair
I
use.
wouldn't have went. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
went to that shit either.
I
because
hadn't
let
heard
me
any
tell
of
you
that about
something.
Miss Diane, but you know I'm always ready to get Miss Diane by her go naked. But wow,
Nah,
okay,
I
cool
wouldn't
cat.
have went to that thing either
Oh,
because
no.
I wouldn't have wanted to be around my daughter with no boyfriend she just had, and then she married this clown that she done found on the motherfucking DM.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
I
wouldn't have
think
went either.
Portia needed her support. Lauren
I
was there,
know.
but
I'm
Lauren
not.
was always the
Let me tell
support.
you, I'm not supporting no bullshit from my kids either.
And then the cousin, I can't remember the cousin. Rest in peace to the cousin.
She
Long
She was a
died
sweet,
though.
sweet
No,
lady.
the
Yeah, she
girl
was a
that
sweet lady.
she
She was
died.
there. Yeah, she was there for
Yeah.
support. But Cool Cat's giving
She
another
gave
reason
her
why Miss
hell
Diane
though.
was home.
Portia
was
gave
mad.
that cousin hell.
She said she the devil. She said Portia do. She said Portia
Mm-mm.
do it like that. Was she Cool Cat? I don't know. I'm with Cool Cat, but I'm not.
Angela said she was
on
crying.
Portia's
So
neck. Cool Cat
she
stay on
do.
Portia.
Cool cat be on her neck down.
Yeah,
She
you
does.
too. Candy was dragging Portia. Candy was dogging Portia
And
and
Phaedra.
Phaedra out. She was married to Todd, and she felt emboldened to go after Phaedra and Portia. Candy was just as guilty as the others in that beef.
Mm-hmm.
People say Candy throw the
Oh,
rock and
Cat
hide her hand, so I
by
don't
the
know.
hand. She
I'm
always do
sure it is.
that.
I could
She
believe it though.
does.
I could
Miss
believe it.
Murray's got a good point.
Who?
That's
When
true,
she
Mary
said
Willis.
she done lived a long time, and
Yeah.
Shamia is worse than Portia because she's smarter than Portia.
The
That's
smarter
what I'm
one
telling
was
y'all.
the
That's how
smarter
she's
was
flipping that
worse.
script. She's trying to flip
I
that
don't think
script on Portia and
I don't
make it
think
look
Portia's
like
that
Portia
dumb.
was Portia.
I think Portia's
Huh?
smart and she just know how
I
to.
don't think Portia's that dumb. I think
Oh.
some of that ditziness is an act. I think Portia's smarter than people give her credit for. I tell you
I
that.
definitely
Miss
don't
Diane's
think
in
boy.
she's
her ear
dumb.
giving her the game. Miss Diane been in her ear giving her the whole game for 40
No, I
plus
definitely
years.
don't think she's dumb, but I do think Shamia's a little smarter than her
I'll give you that. I'll say that.
and,
Yeah.
and a little more witty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Mary Willis on that too.
Mm-hmm. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
That
Stacy
was a
said
good
they
scene.
locked Miss Diane ass up now. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
Everybody said she locked up. They said she got out. I'm surprised they
When they locked that
they
lady
probably
up?
just fired her. Is there a mugshot? I know it's
They said
pretty.
that lady done got
I
locked
said,
up.
wait a minute. I didn't hear that part about locked
For
up. I just
what?
heard the part, the insinuation about Hosea feed the hungry. What was it?
Oh
Misappropriation of funds?
Lord.
Yeah, see, I don't dig. I'm not doing all that research. But if there's a mugshot out there on Miss Diane looking pretty in her go naked, we gonna see it.
Uh-huh.
Somebody gonna get on it. You know how y'all like to dig.
Portia look pretty in her mugshot.
Yeah, Miss Diane don't go out the house if she's camera ready. Okay, so yeah, I know that's gonna be cute. A pretty mugshot cracks me up, y'all. I have to tell you, I love a pretty mugshot.
It does.
When
Or
they
one
have
that
a
somebody
big
got a
mugshot.
quirky
Yes,
laugh
yes.
on it, or
Yeah, sometimes they
You
bust
know.
out laughing. It's like, what are you doing? This is your mugshot. But I love it. It's funny to me. Y'all, Miss
oh my
Diane.
God.
But yeah, I noticed she didn't. No Mexico, no
I don't
Hosea
see no
feed the
no, no.
hungry. So wow, okay. Yeah, she was a sweet girl, Sonia Guidry.
Yeah,
Really,
Portia.
and she was very supportive. She was down there in Mexico. Of course, she was holding them bull
Lonely.
mics. Let me not bring that up, but
Yeah,
yeah,
she was on
very
last night's
supportive.
episode.
She
was
was.
on
I
last
saw her.
night's
Yeah,
episode.
she was.
Yeah, she was.
That was sudden. That was sudden.
Yeah, I know Portia.
Yeah,
probably was
Shamia
home
is
just
more
watching that basketball.
cunning.
Yeah, cunning is a good word.
Huh?
D her to keep her heel on Shamia neck too. I see you, D.
Uh-huh.
She do. Yeah, like Jessica Simpson. Yeah. Stacey
Mhm.
Young.
Yeah,
Some of them
Portia.
junkies
Portia
smarter
say
than you think.
she play a role on TV. That what she
Yeah,
said.
I believe that. I believe it.
Mhm.
Because she
That's
showed
what
him, she managed to get all of Drew's dirt out in scenes where the scene's not even about Drew. So now we know about Ty.
Uh-huh.
We know she been managed to get all this out about Drew. And Drew ain't
Child,
really
I
had
told y'all Portia is a beta, honey. She good at
That's
it.
not yeah, that's not real.
Wait a minute, Jeanette said, "Why all the Portia bashing? The nerve of people to talk about Portia's mother."
How is that bashing if somebody brought up that Miss Diane? How is that bashing? Miss Diane is on the show. Miss Diane's on the show. She has scenes.
She can get it too. She can
Yeah,
get it too.
If a person has scenes, we even talk about Simon. And Ice got him in the freezer, and we still talking about Simon. Miss Diane's
Wait,
actually.
now
She
Ice
can get it too.
Ice got that man in the freezer.
They do, and now I didn't blame Portia for that. I don't think Portia called. There's people that think Portia called. Jen, people think Portia called. I don't. But yeah, Miss Diane's on the show, and we're gonna talk about Miss Diane too, and Simon.
Elizabeth Harrison. You need to know that you are free to say what you want to say in
Oh,
this
listen,
chat.
Elizabeth, we
You
joking.
don't gotta leave, honey.
I like to be down in the chat. I'm not in the chat. Is it getting hot in the
You
chat?
say what you want to say, babe.
Is the
You
chat
know,
in
as long as you
shambles?
respecting each other.
D said, yep.
Everybody, you know, I like Portia, but everybody not gonna agree. I'm okay with if I can stand up here and take the heat, Elizabeth. You can stay in here with me, girl.
That's right.
How you gonna leave
I
me
don't know what
hanging?
side Elizabeth is on. I know
Thank
what side
God
D
for
is on.
D. Yeah,
Jen,
D ain't
Jen,
leaving
let me
me,
see.
too. That's Portia
try to pull
fan
up what
right
Jen
there,
said.
baby. Yes.
It's all
Yeah,
in good fun. All of them getting paid. We're not. We're having fun.
Somebody told me today they love this panel, right? And they said, especially, well, guess what they said? Especially you and Sandra P.
Boy, I love it.
Them two
right there. Y'all make it.
Debating, but
we
I
don't
can
talk
tell y'all love
beforehand.
each other.
We don't.
I
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
And
what
we
y'all gonna
don't
say
get, and they don't
beforehand.
get, y'all, they really don't get mad or nothing. It's like we back at laughing and cutting up because this is the great debate. I look forward to this. I look forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what y'all
This
gonna say.
make it good. I love her.
Because both of you guys have a great point. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard not to, you know. I know when Sandra P coming and Teatalk, it's gonna be a great debate. And Sandra gonna stay on her ground, baby.
That's funny.
Y'all be disagreeing, but y'all love each other. You can tell.
Oh yeah.
Shit, we gotta have a conversation now. We don't gotta.
Yeah, we grown women up here. We family. Y'all have no idea. We are family. We can argue. We can say one thing and we'll be right back hugging and crying the next. So we locked in with no new friends. With a flight catch.
Whoa, I'm glad you brought that up, Cool Cat. Because you said you sound like Portia saying Drew was talking about her child. Now Drew was wrong for saying that.
She said she could buy her snacks. Did you thought she was insulting her? I didn't.
She was.
I didn't take it that way.
No,
y'all. I did not take it that way.
Nobody.
I'm gonna send PJ to college.
Everybody can.
Yeah, the snacks was a little shade, but
the whole thing was shade.
It was shade.
I didn't take it
shade.
I didn't think it was
shade.
And even
I don't know.
And even if Dennis did say, "Oh, this gonna help me pay for my daughter's college," that don't mean Drew's supposed to go say it.
Drew.
That's still Dennis.
Drew just tell that Drew just come out with anything. Y'all know that. Yeah. Y'all know Drew just to be in it.
I agree, Tim.
Oh, thank you, little Paulette, my friend.
Hey, little Paulette.
You pretty too.
Hey, love bug. Wait a minute, they said to drop the T quit.
Drop the T probably over there on her channel, child. Drop the T over there. Look, she over there on her channel cussing folks out. Look, pop, where you at?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope she ain't sleep.
She shouldn't have brought that kid up.
Yeah.
She might be doing something. In all transparency, she got a lot going on today. Her son came home from college.
Yeah. Okay.
She might have got sidetracked, if I'm being honest. Because that's a lot when you're coming home from, they
bringing out his stuff and until they move back again.
Yeah, but that was a good scene. I think things are going to start picking up. Yeah, I wish Phaedra would have been there earlier.
Yeah, 10 episodes in. I guess she's coming when 11. Yeah, I can't remember what the previews were. Oh, thank you, Mary Willis.
How many episodes do they have?
Love you, Mary.
I know. They get at least 16. I'm thinking at least 16, maybe more. I gotta double check.
Is she coming in on the last 4? Maybe.
Will she be here next week? I know she's gonna be at the trip. We can have it.
That girl
We
said
missed
she only
Easy
been there for
Thousand.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's what Kelly said. Well, she came in for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
You know Kelly gonna tell it.
2 weeks.
That's what she said.
Oh,
Wow.
Kelly, hush.
She said she came in for 2 weeks.
I think Angela got something
Uh,
going on with her. I saw her over there on one of the morning shows with the one with the brat. And Angela kind of rolled her eyes and said
okay.
something shady about Phaedra.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, she said Phaedra got her
Uh-huh.
amped up. That's what she said. I said, "Oh Lord, what Phaedra did to
Yeah.
Angela? This is gonna be good."
You know, Phaedra is she gonna throw some
Well,
shade.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be slick, honey.
Mhm.
and Angela gonna have to be a little quicker on her feet to be playing with Faith
Yeah.
because Angela's slow.
'Cause-
Like with a
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
conversation, it's all like, "Oh, well, really? Nah, baby. You
Yeah,
think she
Phaedra
got that
ready.
Snap commercial for nothing?"
She stay ready.
Yeah.
Because she don't have to get ready.
So proud
She
I'm
gonna
still up.
snap
Girl, I'm
you like a
Thelma. Yeah, Phaedra's ready.
all out of here.
oh, they can
Sassy,
spread
y'all, I'm
cheese
about
into
to
food.
end it, but don't get off because I want to ask y'all a question.
Okay.
So don't get off.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
guys, we're gonna get out of here because we all got to go to work tomorrow.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank y'all for
Yes.
hanging out with us. All of
This was a good one.
Here now it's 186.
Yes, this was
But
a
thank y'all
great
all
one. What
for
y'all
tuning
rate it? We
in.
gotta rate it first.
Yep.
What
But
you
y'all
I'ma
rate
give it
the
an
show
8.
this week.
I'll give
I
it an
gave it
8.
an 8.
And most of it came, I would say, with the pamper party. I think Portia did a great job
Yeah.
on the party, and the build up to the
She
party was
did.
good too. I'll give her an 8.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. I'd give it like an 8.5 actually. It was
Yeah.
almost a 9.
It was good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
good.
was
Yeah,
a
it
good
was
episode.
very good. I enjoyed
And I hope
every
it
scene.
continues to get good, right?
Better.
Yeah, I hope so. It should
Yeah.
get better.
I hope it continues to get better. See, Audrey gave it a 9. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I gave it an
We
8.5.
still got the cast, the trip coming up. We got some good things coming up.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Mhm.
I just can't wait till Phaedra shows her ass up.
Yeah,
I
That's what
can't
need.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all waiting on Faye.
We need to hurry up and bring her funky ass on here.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Miss KT said she don't even watch the shit, but she gonna give us 10 hands down because we did a
thank
good
you,
job.
KT. Thank you, KT.
Whoop, whoop.
We love y'all too. All right, y'all.
Yes.
Good night. See y'all in the
Good
next
night.
video.
Good night, everyone. Thank y'all. Hit those like buttons. Hit those like buttons.